Hi, I'm Jeremy from International Sportsman. Today we're looking at the Hatsan Harpoon. This is an air gun that shoots arrows up to 600 feet per second. At first look, it's pretty impressive. So we're going to dive in, see what makes this unique, and take a look at its features, and then go over how it works and do a little range testing. So to get things out of the way, some quick specs about the Harpoon. It's a little over 37 inches long. It has a 20-inch barrel. It shoots arrows up to 600 feet per second or 330 foot-pounds of energy. It uses 20-inch long arrows and fills up to 250 bar. Now it weighs 9.5 pounds and can hold 3 arrows at one time. So looking at the sights on the Hatsan Harpoon, you can see that they have adjustments on the top and on the sides as well. They also have these little fiber optic pieces in there, and they flip down. As you can see, we changed this up to as high as it would go as far as elevation because of the way our top rail was configured. Now they are removable with little nuts on the side, as you can see here, and the top flips down as well. Now, we took it out and we did some testing trying to achieve that 600 feet per second number. And what we found is that it shoots really fast. So fast, in fact, that it was burning through our targets and actually melting the target onto the arrow. So we had to double up the target blocks that we're using just so that we wouldn't shoot through the blocks. Because it shoots so fast, if it hits a rock or anything like that, it's going to break or damage or deform the arrows almost out of the gate. After talking to the Hatsan rep, we figured out that you actually need to tune the gun to the arrow and the fill pressure that you're going to be using. So, you know, the 200 to 150 bar range might be what you're looking for as far as the optimal fill pressure. Now, according to Hatsan, you get about 10 shots at that optimal field pressure. Obviously, you're going to get more shots at lower velocities, but that's kind of the optimal range that you're looking for. So in our testing, we actually have the older model of the Harpoon. And what we found was that the height over the bore is so large that even turning our scopes all the way down, we couldn't get it to center. We were still about 2 inches high because of that height over bore. Now the new models have corrected that and actually have cant built into them, so you have a 20 MOA cant so that you're not going to have those issues. The rear of the Harpoon has an adjustable cheek rest. By simply tightening or loosening that screw, you can adjust it up and down. This is useful because it has such a large height over bore rail. For the optimal accuracy for this, you want to use 20-inch arrows. Now these are your standard arrows that are a 30 caliber. Those are the 2219 type arrows that are readily available. And you want to use a quality aluminum arrow for this. The reason why is carbon fiber arrows can actually blow up because of the amount of pressure. Now, while 20 inches is optimal, it can shoot an 18-inch arrow. However, it won't fully seat on the O-ring. Additionally, you can use arrows that are longer than 20 inches, but you won't have the maximum velocity because it's going to use more air to push that arrow. Now, because this is a pretty compact package, you're not going to want to use an arrow longer than 20 inches anyway, just to keep the overall length down as low as possible. Now in our testing, we didn't quite hit 600 feet per second, but we came close a lot of the time. And as you can see, we were using a lab radar to measure our results, And we kept trying to chase that magical 600 number and then realized that it just isn't worth it. Tuning the arrows to the optimal fill pressure is really what you want to do. Now, when you think about the Harpoon, what's it used for? Well, it's used primarily in hunting applications or plinking where you don't want to, waste money on ammo. But from a hunting scenario, most states don't allow these during archery season because they treat it more as a rifle. Now, part of that may be because they're not getting the Pittman excise tax on it, which is the tax that goes toward conservation, since these aren't considered a hunting accessory. But they are gaining more and more popularity among the hunting community. There are sites popping up like Airgun Hunting Legion that actually focus on records taken with airbows. So you're probably going to see more and more of these in the hunting scenarios in the future. Now, if you look at the gun, it has the ability to hold 3 arrows at one time, 2 in the top and then 1 in the chamber. This is useful in a hunting scenario because now you've got 3 shots that you can take pretty quickly without having to fetch more arrows from a quiver or something like that. So we're going to go over the loading procedure of the Harpoon and show you how to fill up the tank and how to actually attach the arrow. The Harpoon uses a small valve like this, and it has a hole in one side. It points toward the rear of the gun, and you can see the hole if you look in there, but you just sit it straight down and make sure it's flush. This can only be opened once the gun is cocked. The reason for that is there is a hammer safety here, so it closes the valve with the hammer so that the air doesn't go spewing out of the tank. If it wasn't cocked and you attach the adapter to fill it, then all the air would go spewing out of the tank the first time that you try to fill the tank up. After that, you attach your line. We use a scuba tank, but you can also use an air compressor. Make sure to keep an eye on your air gauge while filling. The fill gauge of the Harpoon is located underneath the gun in front of the trigger guard, and it goes up to 300 bar, but you want to keep it 250 or under. In our testing, we found that between 150 and 200 was optimal for best accuracy. Loading the Harpoon is easy. Just slide the arrow over the tube from the front. Make sure and seat it down good so that it seals with the O-ring at the base. Then cock it from the lever on the right-hand side, and when you're ready to fire, release the safety that's in the trigger guard. Because the arrow is traveling so fast, we were shooting at the sand berm. Here we have a Firebird Target set up, and you see how close we come to it. Then we moved over and attached a Firebird Target to our blocks. It hit so hard that it actually blew the target in half. That's how powerful those Firebird Targets are. So that's a look at the Hatsan Harpoon. If you want more information on this, you can check it out on internationalsportsman.com. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, and we'd really appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.